more expensive, but the customers can understand what we do. You have to find your own arguments. I can't help you there. But in my world, in the future, if I should go bankrupt with my stuff, I will go into selling insurances, go into selling products which are consumables, and I will be selling software. Because insurance is perfect. People buy it, but they never reflect on it, and they have it for years. So you make one sale, and it continues to run. If you're selling a sausage, it's gone tomorrow, and you have to sell one more the day after tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. In sales, if you can have sales systems where you multiply your business, it's much better. In this consumer market we talked about here, this is getting good distributors. If you sell to if you find a good distributor, they will continue to sell for years and years and years, and you can spend time finding a new one. You see the analogy? In software, it's fantastic if you can develop it cheap, because once you have made the cost, you can make discounts, unbelievable discounts, because actually the next customer costs you nothing. So I hope it was answer to your question. More questions? Challenge me, I'm here.
How do you replace product which is in other countries heavily integrated into companies' daily activities? So in this case, software, let's mention a little bit accounting software, which is heavily integrated inside company across different sectors. Say we are coming into this country with our software, which is similar. So is there any tricks to approach?
There is one, but I don't know whether you have the money for it. The way the big guys do, they just go and buy the company. And then they exchange the software they have with their own software, and then it's done. No, that's maybe... But no, you're laughing. But this is actually what these calculations you do. If you have a big competitor, you sometimes consider to buy them. And if you want to get into the market, the quickest way of getting into a market is to buy yourself into the market. Sorry? Yes, yes. I promised myself that I would never start a company from scratch again, because it's much cheaper to buy an existing company with a bookkeeper, with a secretary, with some existing business, maybe not performing very well, and then you come with your own stuff and put into it, and then suddenly this company makes profits. And I end up doing it from scratch again. But it's not clever. So if you will follow my advice and not do my error, find a small underperforming company in an export market, buy it, and then put your extra added turnover into it, and you'll be profit from day one. And this accounts for Russia, for South America, any place. It's much cheaper, trust me. They have bank relations, they have certificates. Okay, you save years. Sorry, this was an arrogant answer, because if you can't buy the company, what then? So no, you remember the last presentation ended with the patience with the eye. Wait for your opportunity. Because market develop, and sometimes you get an order and you come into a company because something happens. Maybe this company you're talking about, they are owned by an international company. Maybe they decide to centralize somewhere, and this company in this region is being closed. They might keep the services still in that area, but they don't have a local eye on it. That's the time you go in and say, guys, now you have nobody to support you. I'm here, I can support you. I can change your system. In 2 weeks' time, you're up and running with a new modern system, which can better solve your problems, and all the USPs. But you have to wait for the opening in the market. Obviously, being in the market again and again creates trustworthiness. If I should buy a bookkeeping system, I will never buy a bookkeeping system from somebody I don't know. I need to know the brand, and I need to know good about the brand, and maybe for years before I consider to change a quite crucial part of my business. So it's a long, hard work here. It's either international marketing, so everybody sees it, or it is that you go on exhibitions and or you make events. I make events for people who find out they get more out of making an event than being on an exhibition. And so you're top of mind, but they haven't bought you yet. And when they get a problem, you are so much in the market, or they know you get contacted and you can start. But it's a tough one.
Is this case like if we take one authority company
Yes, this was kind of what I did in the Scandinavian market. You're down on your knees, rape me, and you get in. But you can do that, because in this case it's a software solution. So you actually can do that, but the support costs you money. So, okay, I'm going to show you some more questions. I'm going to give you 2 slides now, which are me trying to give my learnings to you. They are all linked or not linked. Well, they're all linked to everything. But I want to give you some hints. I will guarantee you that the next 2 pages will save you money and make you earn money. So let's go through it before I think we have the break. I don't know when that's... when is the break, actually? 12:30? 12:15. Okay, I'll try to behave. Good. This we talked about before. Secure all immaterial rights through the whole value chain. So when anybody get broke or you change distributor, that these things follow you. It's kind of like having a homepage with your brand name on it and you don't have access. You don't want that. Especially not if the one who has access now has taken your competitive product in. So make sure in all contracts that either you pay this yourself and buy them yourself, or you contract-wise secure that this is your value. Then again, secure the rights for the material. And what do I mean about this? Marketing people, I'm one of them myself, but artwork people are even worse. Graphic designers are even worse. You ask them to make an advertising TV spot or some brochure or logo or whatever. You ask them to do that, and they come back, and you get a nice price, and you say they have 3 suggestions, and you say, I want this one, and you get a bill, and they have been using some models standing on the pictures or whatever, and you get a bill. The bill is always too high, but you pay it, and now you are doing marketing in Lithuania and Latvia, the 2 markets you want to start. Then you go to an exhibition, you find a nice customer in Spain who wants to start now. And but then the artwork people come and say, you don't have the rights for these pictures in Spain. So you have to pay more money to me for royalty. And you turn to the guy and say, didn't you buy the worldwide rights? No. This is not normal in our business. Excuse me, I'm the customer. What systems you have in your business, I don't care. If I buy pictures of somebody integrated in my communication, in my logo, I want to have the rights for these pictures in the whole world. So I don't have to make different marketing in Spain than here, because now complexity starts. You remember from yesterday in the marketing? Oh, actually not, it's coming further. In the marketing mix, you cannot control a lot of markets, and you cannot grow in a lot of markets if you need to have different things everywhere. Then you need more people, more costs. So when you make material, secure that you have the rights for everything all the time. And if they come to you and say, no, in our business, it's not like that, then you say, okay, I don't want to buy from you. I talk to somebody else who wants to do it for the world. The guy with the money has the power. So don't listen to all this crap. And trust me, they will then they will go back to the agency and say, I don't get the order if you don't get it for the world. And say, okay, you get it. So don't bend. If you are very technical, remember the patents. They are bloody expensive to maintain, but it's quite clever. If you find 2 good distributors in the same market, you actually have to say no to one of them. But if you say no to one of them, and he's interested in your product, what would be the natural thing for them to do? To find your competitor. So rather than they find your competitor, you give them an option of selling another brand to them. Now you're suddenly controlling the market. That can be much cheaper than having a competitor, depending on your business. So service is perfect, you can call it. They don't know what's behind it. So you can have multiple brands in the same country. You just change the story a bit. The background is the same, but you just change the story. So you position yourself differently, same costs, will work. This is a classical mistake. Please, Don't go to the local university. Dear ladies in there, I like you, but if you want to translate something to Lithuanian, let the Lithuanian translate it. Don't find somebody who has studied Lithuanian in Copenhagen and ask them to translate the brochure. Okay, please. So let the distributor do it, then it's right. Maybe double check that they got the message. Remember the ex-works price discussion and the consumer price discussion. The end user price construction I made because I wanted to control that my positioning was right, that I was able to keep my brand where it should be, that the communication could be done for the money I had. I did it to secure my situation. But this doesn't help very much if you don't know what's going to happen, because in the contract, make sure that there's some reporting. And you can make it very simple. I have a big, symptom management and positive spirals. I teach big companies and small companies how they should reduce reporting and use the energy for something more creative. This is a long thing. We'll do this some other day. But reporting, I don't know. How many in this room like to make reports? There's one or two liars here, but you don't want to take the hands up. But that doesn't matter. Most people don't like to do it. They consider this to be waste of time, and nobody reads it, and it's not being used for what they want. And the management wants something, so we make a report which satisfies what they want to hear. But minimum, when you do reporting, it has to be so simple that you can do it in 10 minutes. If you can do it in 10 minutes, people actually report. If it takes more than 10 minutes, they start copying from last month and all kind of stuff. So my recommendation is you ask the distributor to report how much they are buying of your products. Then you think, shouldn't I know how much I'm selling them? Yes, but then you have to go to the bookkeeping. Let him do the job. So you ask them to register how much orders are going in or how much products are going in, if it's products. And you ask them to make a list where it says how much is sold. And then you make actually one I didn't write here. Then you make one which is called samples or destroyed. And then you have how much is now in stock. This is very easy for the distributor to do. This is in the system. It's like this. Then the only thing you're interested in is the last one. You're interested in which happenings, campaigns is going to happen, which will change the needs in the future. So you ask here, depending on the product, you ask for 1 week or 3 months or 1 year ahead. You ask which happenings will change the need for my product. And that's it. Don't let me write a report what they're going to do. You just ask them to write what it is and maybe what volumes it will affect. Because now you can take the phone and just call and talk to them. It takes 10 minutes also. And you have actually been managing a customer in 20 minutes. 10 of their minutes and 10 of their minutes again and 10 of your own. This is enough. If you need more reporting than this, you have a problem with the story. You have not done your homework good enough with your distributor. They don't know what to do. Then you don't know what's going on. So you become Stalin. You know, trust is good, but control is better. Remember, we want the distributors to roll the snowball. And they can only do that if they have the knowledge and the trust and the time to do that. So don't squeeze them in reporting. Okay, now comes something which will not give you more money, but will save you a lot of money. Make rules for the people who go on export. Make systems. First of all, management decision, like yesterday, it's a top management decision to do exports. It's a top management decision to go exporting to a new country. Don't let the export staff decide, oh, there's some guy from Hawaii who called. I'm going to Hawaii. Keep them doing what is in line with your strategy. Because maybe your whole story is collapsing if you go outside your strategy. Old salespeople and young salespeople, especially the youngest one, they have not been everywhere in the world. And they have the disease which is called the disease of black spots on the map. So they go to another country and say, check. And the endorphins are coming through and they're happy. Problem is, this is maybe not in the interest of the company. This black spot on the map, disease, can be used very positively if you want to go into markets where you don't want to travel yourself. Then you hire some young, good people, and they love to go there. But it's a management decision where you go. Do the same with the travel expenses. Give them a fixed amount of money, and they can spend it like they want. Make a level for which hotels they can sleep on, so they don't sleep at the camping. It kind of destroys your brand image if you're up here. So make some strict rules, so when they come home, and make rules that when they're in the plane or in the train on the way home, they deliver their travel expenses when they arrive. Don't let them spend 3 days in the office finding small bills and everything, wasting of your time, of their time. So make systems. I can only stress it again and again. If you do your homework right, or almost right, then you have a uniform or more or less uniform distributor structure. These people can, with big advantage, be gathered some nice places. Take them to Lithuania 1 or 2 times, but then next time take them to Barcelona or Rome or someplace, because nobody wants to go to the same place all the time. And the memory they have of what you tell them is linked to the place they are. So 1 year later you can say, as I said in Barcelona, this was where we wanted to make it red, and that's like this. So it is increasing your popularity as a supplier. If it's interesting to visit you, your brand is also getting more attention at home. The more attention is stimulating everything and keeping your price level. Make it interesting to visit you. Make them happy to be with you. And it's extremely cost efficient to gather 20 countries instead of traveling there. They pay to come there, and you only pay for the dinner and the hotel. This is new communication technology, blah, blah, blah. This is like everybody tries to sell you a new web shop, and everybody says you should be on Facebook, and everybody says Twitter, and we have heard this until the end of the days. But fact is that on exports, we are still completely dinosaurs. People today actually travel to Australia and talk to people and travel home again. Invest in a Skype or in a more advanced system, and force your organization to use it. If it's only for your own sake, buy it. You can get it for 3,000 euros. It's the best investment you did. The first trip you don't have to go to Australia, you saved it all. And now comes the same as all these gadgets, and use it. I recommend you to meet people maybe for every 3rd, 4th meeting, you can meet them in person. But the other 3 meetings, do it on the net or on a screen. New technology is there. It's completely old-fashioned to waste so much time in a plane, hotel, customs office, security, sitting, eating late at night in a dinner with people who actually would prefer to be home with their wife. You embrace new technology when it comes to saving time. One afternoon in your office, you can have sales meeting with the whole international distribution. And now, I was quicker this time. The decline of the export manager, the decline of the brand. And I want to tell you the danger systems, the danger signals. When the things happen I talk about now, you're in trouble. And you'll be losing your position in the market, you'll be losing your turnover, you will be not able to take the prices, the customer will stop paying you and spend the money for somebody else. So listen carefully now. There's a good side, exporting, and there's a negative one. The first indicator, when you travel to a distributor and he says, Michael, I'm going to pick you up in the airport. And the boss comes in his nice BMW and stands in front and says, hello, Michael, come here. And you go out, oh, you come and see my family on the way back to the hotel. It's okay. You feel welcome. Then you come, and if you don't perform, if you don't bring something of value every time, I mean every time you come to a customer, you should bring something which makes their life better, make them make more money, make some positive thing. If you don't contribute with value every time you come, you will find out that next time it's the sales director who picks you up. And the following time, it's the warehouse guy. And eventually, they don't pick up the phone and you have to take a taxi. if you don't bring value to your visits, you are stealing their time. And time is money. Now comes the second decline. The export manager has problems at home because the management is spanking him or her because the sales figures are not as they should be. Solution: at home is trouble, so I travel more. So, he or she is traveling around the world, spending a lot of money, annoying the customers because they don't, in order not to be at home in the office, to be confronted with that things are not like they should be. They're destroying more than they are helping, and there's no solution to it. So if you see, ask your export staff, or yourself, because this also is in our hearts, we don't like to be not popular. Ask yourself all the time, is this travel relevant? Can I bring something to these people? Can it strengthen my sales, my position, or not? If not, go home and take a bath. You see it also with national salespeople. You see that when they start visiting the same customers too often and come home with smaller and smaller orders, you have the decline. Sorry. So, this is what happens very often. This is not a very good slide, but I'm going to explain you what I mean. The typical life cycle of export is that you have a home market and you're only in the home market. Then you start making the first exports. New market, you have to make story, you have to evolve, everything is new, production hates you, you need to check labels on everything, and so on. After the 10th country, the production comes and say, hey, I don't have space for all those languages on the same packaging, and so on. Then, after some time, there are some, the first markets have established. They're getting mature. And life is easy, money is coming in, and you start, and in the second generation of market, which you started somewhere here, they are beginning to be there. Now, 10 years has passed. Maybe 12 for some countries, longer time, and there's new management. There comes in a new guy, new girl, on the position of export, or as general manager. And let's take the case of the general manager. Comes a new person in as general manager, and they have to prove that they have value to the company. They have to prove that the board, why the board hired them. They have to show results. In this world, it's quicker to make results by saving money than to make more new business. Making new business takes longer time than to make cost cuts. So what they do, school book, they go in and look at which customers, which of the customers make out 80% of the turnover. And they say, come on, we can't have 4 people traveling around to 20% of the turnover. It's a waste of time, so many people, and we have no profit. Look here, there's no profit on these countries. And look here, Germany, Poland, oh man, we make money, and we have only one manager managing those 3. And look at the home market, we make all the money here. We are sponsoring all this export market. So what they do is that they make a list, normally the top 80%, and they say the last 20%, throw out. And you know, the board are happy because bottom line is stronger, costs are lower, complicity is reduced. School book, they do it all the time. But this is a case of people having no clue what they're doing. You remember yesterday when I sort of said this sentence, we have sold away all these other companies and now we are focusing on our core operation. It means that they have no clue what's going on. Because if they look at a chart and they look at the acceleration, if they look at the growth rate acceleration, they will find out that the new markets are growing extremely quickly. And they will find out that the established markets are flattening out or maybe even declining. They are cash cows, so to speak. So what they do when they make the 80-20 solution, or the famous, we are core business, they are throwing away all the synergies which has been created for the last 10 years. all the spin-off businesses, all the, and these businesses might be the future of the company. Very often we see that the home market ends maybe by closing, that there are much bigger markets abroad. And the same for you. If you become successful in the USA, why bother having Lithuania? Please. Yes. Yes. What was said was that we are back to this about management decision, owner decision. If the commitment is there, then the commitment is also to carry through. Yes.
Now talking about this because of the not so profitable market.
Yes. Yes.
Markets, whatever you call it. Okay. Now there should be some kind of dangers there as well, because some markets are over-invested and they don't have such a future or possible returns. So that's not always necessarily negative.
Okay, I'm standing here making a show, and of course some things are black and white. If there are countries which truly underperform and don't have the acceleration, you cut them out. So of course there's a classical evaluation of the market. If you have a market which for years and years have been underperforming or not performing and costing money and resources, you of course cut it away. But if you have an acceleration in those markets, or you have a belief of future realistic growth, then this is the wrong thing to do. By the way, this is how people get rich, because the local sales manager, he says, can I take over the 20%? I'll handle it. I'll pay X works from you. And he gets rich. I tried that once and they didn't want to sell it. So this is kind of the life cycle, and this repeats itself. And you can see it in the media, you can see it maybe in your own company, that this happens once in a while. It's the same, I don't know, with the next slide is not explaining that, but there's coming a slide bit later. The same is when you get a new marketing director or new marketing agency. Then, and I please beg you, a new marketing person always wants to show that they're better than the previous one. So what happens is a nightmare for exports. They want to make a new logo. New marketing director, new logo. But the complications of a new logo and a new message, and now we have a payoff now here, now the bests. Dear owners and CEOs, look at him or her and say, that's a really good idea, but no thank you. Because you cannot imagine the implications of changing logo if you have 100 export markets, distributors out in shops or whatever. It doesn't have to be physical things. The costs of changing brand are enormous. And trust me, 10 years later, you still find the old logo. So spend the money instead on making marketing campaigns so you make even more money. Or if he or she really wants to get creative, let her do a new brand. That break, coffee, thank you very much. See you.